Aloha, this is Tom Lesher with the Weekly Pele Report. This report is for July 20th to the 27th of 2011. Welcome. And what do we have to talk about today? Well, there's a number of different things going on. And I'm down here on Stinson Beach in California playing. The sun goes into the sign of Leo on Friday. And this is a bit of a shift. It's been in the sign of Cancer for a month now. It's a water sign. It is that feeling inner. The crab wants to crawl in and hide. And, we get in touch with a lot of emotions. We get in a lot of touch with our feelings. It's a time, like I spoke of last week and the week before, of, getting in touch with our inner child. And that can be done through the home, through working with children, being with our kids, being out and about. And, that trend continues. School is out here for a while, the sun is out, the days are longer. And it's time to recreate. As that sun goes into Leo, which it's going to do on Friday the 21st, it's going to stay there for a month. And that is a fire sign. And it is hot. And our feelings heat up. And our desires, our wants, our will to do something. Leo is the sign of self-expression. It is the sign of that creative being within us that wants to further something, that wants to leave a legacy, that wants to really make a difference in the world. It's the lioness or the lion that really is the queen or the king of the jungle. And as good kings and good queens, we look after our kingdom and we bring in new ideas. Of course, our government needs to bring in some new ideas and things are kind of coming to a head here in America. Yes, as leadership is kind of being challenged now, and it's perfect for the sun to come into Leo because it's time for each of us to take that full responsibility for creating our own life, for creating a time to play, a time to relax, a time to be ourselves, and include that as being a real important quality that brings a quality of life into our experience. So this weekend, not only does the sun move into the sign of Leo, but then the moon, which is now in Aries, comes into Taurus, and on Friday it squares the sun. And this is the third quarter square of that sun, that from the new moon that began on July 1st, it was an eclipse in the sign of Cancer, and then it went around, and on the 7th and the 14th was the full moon. Now it's coming around to the third quarter. And that third quarter square, I always say, it's a time of what goes around comes around. And it's a time of return. It's a time of harvesting in some ways. The last 3 weeks of what we have felt, of what we've initiated, is now coming back to us. And it's a very social time. I really encourage, this is a time when we can take things a little too seriously. It's kind of a time to get out and play. We've got Mars coming around to conjoin with that south node of the moon in Gemini. We've got all this stuff. Gemini, Cancer, Leo, personal, kids, siblings, fun, instinct. We're all down here, all right, in the lower part of that natural horoscope. That has to do with our instinct, and it has to do with play and our little child. And it's really be here now. Mars in Gemini, is really, and I spoke about it, in the past it was maybe being too intellectual or being too busy or being too caught up in our brain. But now it's conjoining with that south node of the moon. And if anything, what this weekend is for is to cut the ties with the past. And our past is what? Our past is a lot of programming, a lot of conditioning by our society, by our parents, by our bosses, that we need to produce. That we need to be little automatons or robots that are doing something for Uncle Sam or the corporation or the society. And, to think about yourself and to take time and to play and to follow the beat of your own drummer. These kinds of things are taboo in the old paradigm, in the hierarchy. And this is a time now where, as we tap into our own flow, our own drummer, our own truth, we become more autonomous, we become more self-sufficient and self-reliant, and it's really time to listen inwardly and be in the present moment and enjoy yourself. I mean, really. Life can be short. In fact, I'm going to put a little thing on my website, perhaps, about this new comet that's coming in. And it may make life very short for us coming in. But, just think, if you had 6 months to live, what would you be doing right now? And what would you be planning to do this next week? If life was really short and you did have to be here now, feel into it. Feel what your priorities are. The type of people, the type of situations you want around you. Because one thing that we can find and that Gemini really tells us is the truth is not out there. It's the opposite of Sagittarius, right? Looking and seeking and searching and studying. But rather, Gemini says, you're going to find it right on the tip of your nose, right in front of your nose. Some of the Kundalini yoga meditations that we do, you focus on the tip of your nose. And you try meditating on the tip of your nose for a while, and it'll really give you a new perspective. It's all right here, right now, right in front of us, and we don't really need to be seeking, searching, stretching, planning, but really get into the moment. That is what the creative act calls for. That is when you will find your creative self that makes you new. It brings in the new. Creation requires, it's something that no one has ever seen before, heard before, done before, and only you can do it. So tap into it, feel it, enjoy it, and express it. And that's the message for this week. That's what's coming up this weekend. It's a beautiful weekend. The moon comes around, it joins Jupiter on Saturday, comes through Taurus. Monday, the moon comes into Gemini, and then it's going to join Mars and the moon's node in the middle of next week. That's when you can get in touch with, more of your anger, or more what might be in the way of you expressing your truth. So, just get in touch with your truth this week so that next week you can tell everybody about it, all right? And I'll leave you with those words, wishing you the best. Aloha, enjoy, namaste.